Hey Gemini, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. Ruth here with your January 2020 reading, your first reading for the new year. We're going to do, as we always do, we'll look at the sun, moon, stars. So the sun is your external experiences, what you're going to be encountering. The moon is the things that are driving those experiences, the things beneath the surface that are actually calling those things for you. And the stars is the outcomes, potential outcomes of things you might experience, lessons that you will be learning or should be learning beyond, hopefully, love thyself and accept your reality, which is obviously all that your life is trying to teach you to do. So I've been taken to saying that we are, in a tarot reading, we are looking at the nature of now. So as the weather is today, because of the weather yesterday, and that also in turn tells us what the weather will be like. Apologies, Gemini. Okay, so that is the nature of what we are reading now. So we're looking at the weather of your life, and that'll indicate the nature of your current experiences, and that'll also indicate what you're likely to encounter because of that. Okay, so let's have a look. This card wants to be out first of all. This card is at the base of the reading, so we've got the star card at the base of the reading, Gemini. And we have got the Three of Pentacles, which wants to be seen as well. So there is a sense of, very instantly, a sense of bringing things to fruition, i.e. being able to manifest things. So, for example, you feel a certain way, or you have a desire or an urge or something that you want to achieve in life, and it's just a thought in your mind or an idea in your head. Actually, it seems like in January you're able to actually bring this idea from your head, from your mind, from your imagination into reality in a way that is very real and solid. That tells us with the Three of Pentacles. So the star card at the base of the reading indicates that you're in a time of higher, where you're listening to the wisest part of yourself, and you're allowing that wise, healed, unencumbered, unattached part of yourself to help you to create or bring something to fruition that you truly want and desire in this world. So let's have a look at some of your experiences then, what's going to be actually going on, what you're going to be encountering. We've got the Knight of Cups, we've got the Four of Pentacles, we've got the Seven of Wands, and we've got the Hermit card. So all of these aspects are you. All of these, everyone that you see on these cards, everything that you see on these cards is actually an aspect of you, of yourself. So what seems to be in charge and it's in this aspect is the divine masculine. And your divine masculine is your actions, is what you do. So it's what you say, it's what you think, and it's how you act physically. And it's interesting because we have actions related to your emotions. We have actions related to your ability to want to create, build, manifest something. We have actions related to what you're passionate about or what you're standing firm on trying to bring forth. And we also have this action of listening to yourself and contemplating what is within you, and allowing that to help you, to guide you in whatever it is you're trying to create and build. So we see this, in a sense, it'd be interesting to look at the second row here, what's motivating these things, but it seems like you are ready to make something happen that you've wanted to make happen for some time. With the Knight of Cups, something that you desire, or something that you love, or that you're attached to, or something that makes you feel good or happy, that's positive. You're moving forward toward grasping that, and you're allowing how you feel about this thing, your emotion, your desire about this thing, you're allowing that to be the guide, to guide your actions, to dictate exactly what it is you do. But it's interesting, it might be that you're breaking new ground. It might be that you're doing something differently, you're behaving differently in the month of January than you would have ordinarily done. So, for example, some of you may not previously, Gemini, have responded to your emotions, or to what you feel, or to what you want, or to what you desire. Some of you may have never acted on that before in a real way, for example. Or it's that you maybe didn't believe that you could. You didn't have maybe you lacked self-belief previously to now, to the time that we're entering. With the Star card, it indicates healing. It indicates a cycle of wonderment in which you have learned and gained, and are opening up to this, the mute, wise parts of ourselves, our divine feminine, that needs our attention. And there's this, with the number 4 of Pentacles, fours are about structures and foundations, and things that are built in our lives, things that, the way that you do things, the way that we do things, the practices, that are routines, for example. And it's with the 4 of Pentacles, because it's manifest, it's like you're used to doing things in a certain way, or you're used to, and now you're moving to do things differently. It's as if, in a sense, you're confronting yourself, you're confronting the ways that the things that guided you before. That, I feel, is what's changing. So what you used to listen to, maybe only your intellect or your logic, you only ever listened to that before to help you to make your decisions, or to help you to take action. Now it seems that you're listening to other sides of yourselves, other dreams and ambitions potentially that you weren't listening to before. This is something that is, I feel, a new kind of, maybe this is like your New Year's resolution, to put your love first, for example. That might be a New Year's resolution, or I don't know, something like that. But and maybe that's why it's coming at this time of year, at this part of the year. With this energy here, the 7 of Wands, it's like you know how to communicate with yourself. You can, when you're telling yourself the truth, and when you are lying to yourself. You know the difference between how it feels when you're at ease, for example, as to when you pretend or tell yourself that you're at ease. You actually are starting to feel your way, your awareness of your higher self, or your intuitive, or your instincts, your awareness of those things, and how to listen to them, and how to hear them, and how to respond to them. You are now, it's like you have learned that language, and you are now able to respond and act on it. So it's interesting, because you've been in this time of of healing, a very significant, it seems. And it might have been that other people were helpful in that with you, so you might have, you know, had support in that. Whatever that is for you specifically, you will know. But it's now, in a sense, the lessons, the things, the lessons that you've learned in a way recently or previously about your survival, about what motivates you, about what moves you. It's like what you've learned, you are now putting into practice. That's what we have with these energies here. And then we have the Hermit card here. And that's because the Seven of Wands. 7 is a number of mystery. It's a number of asking those questions and hearing the answers and considering the answers and then reflecting on those answers. That's a meditative process. Number 7 is a meditative card, a meditative number. And in a sense, you know, the Hermit is also mindful. The Hermit is responsive and responsible and aware of where his feet are, and his feet, his eyes are closed because this is his guide. This inner light, there's a star in there if you can see. This inner light is your guide, this inner knowing, if you will. And there's a it's like you've been on this quest almost of listening to yourself. And I understand what that means. And, you know, for some of you, it will have been very obvious, and for others, it's very subtle. In a sense, the journey that you've been on, it's learning about yourself, self-discovery, learning about what makes you tick, what makes you do, what makes you go, what makes you adverse. You've learned all these things. And it's like, in a sense, some of you are wounded or feel kind of weary maybe, but also you feel ready to take forward the lessons that you've learned in January. And this is what's beneath it. So we see, again, this is that weariness that I was feeling. It's almost like you're bruised and battered, but you're ready, you know, to take off the blindfold and to stride forward and to break through some of the established routines or established ways of thinking about yourself or ways of doing things. You're ready to break through these walls, this fence, these previous sort of traumas that had, in a sense, helped to form and create how you perceived yourself. Those perceptions have changed and are changing, and that's been a healing process that's been ongoing for the past few months for you. And the blindfold has been removed. You know, it's like you see that now. You see this. You understand and feel the physical strain. This is what I was feeling. I can feel it. The physical kind of strain, in a sense, of what you've, and the emotional strain and the energetic strain, that discovering how and why you perceived yourself the way you do up to this point. You acted the way that you do. Yes, it was a strain to get those lessons, to understand that, and to sort of, and for some of you, you're at different stages where you're starting, it's starting to make sense, or you're starting to listen more, you're starting to be more responsive, you're starting to be more aware of the impact of when you deny your truth and your reality to yourself. You're starting to be aware of that. Some of you are at the beginning of that journey. Others of you have been on that journey, on that path, or that's the path that you're walking right now, even if you're not consciously aware of it. It's about telling your truth, accepting your truth, accepting your reality. That's the path that you've been on. and realizing the things that you build, the towers that we build when we do not accept our truth. So the false towers that we build ourselves and that we contain ourselves within. That's what you've been learning about. And not only have you been learning, oh my gosh, that's what I did, and that's what I thought, and that's how I acted, you've also learned how to identify when you do that, when you fall back into those habits, and you're moving away from those habits and you're moving into new territory now, even though the strain was there. And this is why, you know, we have the strain. Sometimes the strain is necessary. This is the the 9 of wands and the 10 of wands. So the 9 of wands is, you know, we're looking at, okay, let me face up to what it is that I feel I do, etc. And then this, you have to walk with that. You have to live and understand the impact that our falsehoods have on us. Never mind about anyone else. What it actually does to you, what damage it does to you when you are not truthful with yourself, when you hide your truth, when you deny your truth, when you deny your reality, when you deny your feelings. You have to live with the impact that has on you, and you have to walk with that for a while. But what happens with the strain that we feel with that is that the strain, in a sense, is the thing that we can hold on to. Because if we didn't feel that pain, we'd continue to lie to ourselves and to hide ourselves and to deny ourselves to ourselves. We would continue to do that forever and ever and ever if it didn't hurt. You're holding on to that strain, if that makes sense. And that strain is the staff in your hand, is that guide. You're following the pain, if you will. You're no longer avoiding. And, you know, it's good. It coincides with, you know, the vibe of the time, it seems. I've not read en masse for a couple of months. I've been reading for private clients. And it seems like there's... and obviously I've been doing my work for my mindfulness brand as well, Key Minds, Modern Tantras. And it's interesting how we're, you know, that collectively people are starting to be aware. And obviously, you know, because we had the pandemic, and that created isolation, that created discomfort, that created uncertainty, that created fear. Those are the things that make us, they're like the strains and the traumas. They're the things that make us have these situations where, well, we can't escape it because we're in lockdown. We can't escape it because we don't know how long it's going to go on for. So we have to basically live and look at the fear and feel it all. And then we have to realise, oh my gosh, it's really painful, this. And that's what we've all done. And so obviously it's, you know, of course, collectively, we're all going to kind of be moving into a space of, you know, okay, well, how is this, now I know this, how is this going to change? What am I going to change moving forward? We're all sort of collectively as a world, as a planet, you know, because of what we've all been through as a planet, as a species, you know, we're all going through that type of energy. And you know, it works to... it serves us, because it as I said, it displays our discomfort for us so that we do something about it. So this is, you know, you're in that, it's interesting, you've got your 4 and your 4 there, your foundation. So it's, you know, it's what's manifesting your world, but also your thoughts, you know, how your perception. I've already talked about your perception, etc. But this is what you do, but also how you perceive your experiences. And this is what you've been reflective on. You've been reflective on how you perceive this discomfort. And then the question comes, and this is always the question, the Hierophant's always a question. The Hierophant asks you, so where are you going to live now? What's going to be the thing that motivates you? Is it going to be what always motivated you? How you always felt, how you always lived? Or are you going to live a new way? The way that you now truly know is for you. So this is, are you going to live your truth or somebody else's? So you have to make that, this, in a sense, this process that you've been in over the last however many months, personally, when you've been engaging with yourself and responding to yourself emotionally, the process is asking you, are you going to continue to live with the discomfort and with the denial of, because we all, that's like one of the mental factors, we all do it, we all avoid. So are you going to continue to avoid, or are you going to do things differently? And that's kind of the space that you're in January. You're in that space where you're actually understanding and feeling what it feels like, the discomfort of self-avoidance, of self-denial, of not speaking your truth for whatever reason, for fear, for whatever, for embarrassment, for trauma, whatever the reasons. You're in that situation now where you're in the mix of it, you're learning it, you're in that temperance energy, and this is that energy that you're in when I'm doing this. It's like you're in that energy of learning, and you're still in the process of transforming completely and releasing completely the old attachments that you've had. And this is the tower that I mentioned, right? So this is what is being dismantled, this is what you are dismantling, and look what you're creating. So this is what we like to see. When I'm doing this friction, this is what I'm feeling for you. And it's not in mindfulness, Tibetan mindfulness, that's my ilk, we call it, it's called wrathful transformation. And wrathful because it creates friction to look at, to engage with. It creates that, because what we're looking at is, this is what I know, this is what I think, this is what I believe, but this is what is there. And if they're the same, you look at though, it's a mirror, it's calm, it's a mirror. But if one looks different, appears to be different from the other, there's a tussle of, okay, well, what's real, what's true, what's me, what's been created, why is that there, why are you saying that, why are you feeling that? That's what is the process that you're going through that process of wrathful transformation. But how we define transformation is we recognize the true nature of something. So we've all been in this pandemic, it's been hard, we've had no money, we've been skint, we've been separated, it's been sad, people have died, it's been terrible, blah 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 blah, which is what we hear here. But and however, what has been the true nature of that? What have you actually, you only live in your world, you only live in your mind. So what in your mind have you seen, have you learned, have you understood about yourself? Because that is what this is. I mean, I've told you all this before I'd even turned the cards over, but that's literally the process that you're still on going through. But it's helping you. The true nature of what you've been experiencing is that you're dismantling the old ways of perceiving your life, the old ways of perceiving you, the old ways of the things that used to make you move before the pandemic, for example, aren't the same things now. Because you're not the same person now, because you're changing every single day, just like every single moment of every single day, just like everything else that exists in this universe. There ain't no difference. So those falsehoods, that's what's being dismantled. It's a process that is ongoing, and you are in that process. So even if there is discomfort in the month of January, what I feel with these energies here, with the Hermit and the Knight of Cups and the Hierophant and the Star card and the Three of Pentacles, what I feel with those energies, what I feel with that is that you know that the discomfort is essential for you to make the changes that are necessary, that you now understand are necessary. And it's clear with the Four of Wands, because remember, fours are about foundation. So we talk about your what's manifested in your life, the security, your mind, your perception. But now they're talking about your wants, needs, desires, instincts, etc. This is like the non-essentials, the things that you know you now need, the way that you want to now build, the things that you want to create moving forward. That's what we see expressed here in the Four of Wands. We see this new kind of structure, and it's a structure that you're feeling, your new patterns, new ways of being, and it's a structure, it's a pattern that you're building simply by responding to how it is you feel. You're allowing that to be your guide. You're allowing how you feel and the discomfort of the conflicts between external and internal. You're allowing that to kind of be your guide to building and creating something new. So this is a month of healing for you, Gemini, and one of transformation, where you are, as I said, dismantling those old ideas and actually understanding the true nature of the recent experiences, however uncomfortable it's been. You understand the true nature of those experiences as you January and as you move into February as well. Okay, my darling Geminis, I hope you enjoyed that reading. Sorry, I got a little phone call at the right beginning, so that kind of threw me for a loop at the start. Keep an eye out for key minds when I'm going to be posting some videos just in the month of January and February, before the full launch in March. That will definitely be helpful for you guys as well. So keep an eye out for that, Instagram, etc., so you can find out what's coming up. I will wish you all a fabulous festive season, and I will see you all again in January with your brand new reading, Gemini. Take care, my darlings. Bye.